flan, or we're going to line the flan with pastry. We're not going to fill it, we're just going to go over the lining of the flan. So first of all, I've made the pastry's rested for about half an hour before I actually roll it out, which means that the pastry won't shrink quite so much when we roll it out. And I'm going to dust the table with some flour, and notice I just finely dust it. I don't sprinkle flour willy-nilly, because this flour is going to make little dints in the pastry, so I dust the pastry into it, roll it out. I only ever roll the pastry one way, so that means I'm able to dust the pastry in between the rolling. So I roll it out this way, and if it starts to feel like it's sticking to the bench, don't carry on, just give it a little dust again and get some flour on it so that it will actually roll out. So it's the shape I want. Again, just one way. If you roll it one way, you're going to get a much more even roll, because when you try and roll it sideways, it's very difficult to actually get an even roll on it, because you tend to press more on one side of the pin than the other side of the pin. Okay, again, flour, roll it out. Now this is the ring that we're going to roll it out to, so you can see we're almost there. Don't want it too thick for a pastry item. One more turn around. And roll out. Just loosen the pastry off the bench. Okay, you can see the ring there, we've got plenty of room to get up to the sides of it. And we should be right. Just one little touch more. Okay, now I'm going to pick the pastry up using the rolling pin, and that enables me to pick the pastry up without cutting through it. I've slightly greased the baking sheet, and I've slightly greased the bacon flan ring. So now I'm going to just line it onto the sides, and I'm going to lay the pastry over it. If I squish the pastry down into it, the flan ring is going to cut through the pastry. And then slowly bringing the pastry down. I'm not stretching the pastry down, I'm actually easing the pastry down so it's in the shape, so as opposed to stretching it. Being very careful, because if you put holes in the flan ring, it's very difficult to actually contain a liquid like in a quiche Lorraine or that type of thing. So ease it down, ease it down, ease it down. Okay, now if you're like me, I like to take off a little bit of the dough, squeeze it into a circle, dip it in some flour, and then push the dough into the corners, so I'm not going to go through it with my finger. And that actually makes it a little bit squarer, so that I'm able to get a nice square dough, which I'm aiming for, so it's nice and neat. Okay, so ready. I'm going to fold the dough over the sides. Now I'm going to just run over that with my pen. Put it with this dough. And I'm just going to neaten that back up again, so it around the sides. So I get a nice even thickness around the sides. That's where I started. And using my knife, I just make sure that that is perfectly square with the flan ring. Ease it off, and that will actually make it perfectly square with the flan ring, so I've got a really nice finish for it. To one side, and then last but not least, I need to dock the base of it. This needs to be done because any air that's trapped underneath is going to steam up and belly the inside of it. So that's lining a flan, whether it be a sweet one or a savoury one, the process of that is the same. Okay, we're going to do a cartouche because we're going to bake this flan ring blind. So we're going to do a cartouche that goes into the middle of it that keeps the walls of the flan so they don't collapse in. So first of all, we get a piece of paper around about the size of the flan ring, obviously a bit bigger so it goes up the sides. And the first thing to do is fold it in half and then I'm just going to continually fold it in half. So this is the middle of that sheet of paper, so I'm going to fold that in half again, and I'm going to fold that in half again. So I'm keeping my finger where the middle of the paper is so that I always know which piece I'm going to fold in half again, and so on. And just fold it as many times as you can. The more times you fold it, the neater the circle is going to be, basically. Then I'm going to measure the middle of the flan, and calculating roughly what that we're going to call the sides of the flan. I'll just calculate that carefully. Right. And then we're going to cut the size of the paper, so I'll go back over here, size. Cartouche that was cut. And we're going to line the flan ring using the cartouche. Push it into the sides. And then get yourself some baking beans into the middle. And then push them out to the side. And that's going to support the pastry while it's cooking. And that's really preparing a pastry case for baking blind. I'm going to allow that to rest in the fridge just for around about 20 minutes, half an hour, which will stop the sides from shrinking too much. So that's blind baking, whether it's a flan, fruit flan, or in this case a quiche Lorraine.